What's going on, people? Another week, another recap. So I jump right into it. Um, Imperfect action was one of the topics of the week. It's self-explanatory, really. Doing things that are in alignment with whatever it is you're trying to do, but a lot of times we don't have all the info. We don't have the information. We don't have the experience doing something. So that leads us to do things incorrectly sometimes. And I think for a lot of us, when we're not doing something as we perceive it as right, we have a tendency to decide to revert to inaction instead of acting anyway, in spite of not exactly knowing how it should be done. This is understandable, you know what I mean? This is definitely understandable, but your forward motion will get stifled if you routinely just stop acting. It's like that the law of inertia. When something's in motion, it wants to stay in motion. So when you're in motion, when you got things going on, and there may be an obstacle or something that comes in your way, if you revert to inaction, that's going to put you in a place where you're now not in motion, and it's going to be easier to stay not in motion. And I guess that's kind of like the law of entropy. All things kind of descend towards chaos. Once you've started to kind of just be in a position where you're just allowing things to sort of just fall apart around you, or you're not taking any action, things are going to just naturally move towards disorder and disarray. You know what I mean? So what we should do is act in spite of. When we don't know exactly what to do, that's where trial and error comes in, where you just try something, see if it works. If it doesn't work, try something else. Trial and error. I think that's the best way to learn, at least for me. I think some people may be able to learn by just having something explained to them once or twice. Not me. I have to try something. You can explain it to me. I'll attempt it. I'll probably do it wrong. And then I'll have to go in and revise what it is that I'm doing in order to actually make it work. And that's what we all should be doing. We should strive to. If keeping your forward motion intact is what you want, this is what you should be doing. Just trying anyway, in spite of, no matter whether or not you know how to do it. If it's incorrect, imperfect action. That's my thoughts on that. We also spoke about telling the story, man. Telling your story. Listen, we all have. It's funny because we have very unique experiences, but also very similar experiences, and that's what makes human connection so beautiful. Is because we can connect with one another, just based on having experiences that are similar to other people. That's a beautiful thing, man. So being able to tell your story in a way that is true and authentic to you is going to connect with people far better than any far-fetched or make-believe, made-up story that you can tell. I know, listen, if you think about the days when you were in school and you wanted to impress people, impress your friends, impress a girl, and you tell these wild-ass, far-fetched stories in order to make them think that you were cooler than you actually were, what you really needed to do was tell the real stories so they could be like, oh man, this guy's just like me. This is what creates bonds and connections between people, is knowing that a person is similar to you and they've experienced things that you've experienced. And we're selling ourselves short by telling somebody else's story or some make-believe story that never happened. To truly be a person that can truly help others and potentially change people's lives, you have to give the real shit. If you've been through the mud, if you've been through the fucking dirt, tell people that, show people that, own that part of your story, because there's somebody else that's going through the mud too. There's somebody else going through the dirt too. And they need to see that it is possible to overcome it. You know, if they think your life was just perfect all the way through, there's no relatable aspects there. But if they know that you had to overcome adversity and go through things and really try hard in your life to be a better person, it'll inspire them and give them hope that it's possible for them too, man. So you got to always tell your story and own your story, and don't be embarrassed or shamed by your story, because contrary to popular belief, we all got stories, and we all got some things in our stories that we aren't so proud of. So just own it and move forward, man, because that's what this is about. We just want to be better. We want to grow and continue to elevate our minds and how we conduct ourselves. So yeah, man, we just gonna own everything and give it to the people, and hopefully that it can help someone else. So there's probably one other thing that I wanted to touch on. Let me see. Oh yeah, just the idea of trusting yourself, man. All of this kind of ties into each other. Just being able to trust yourself, you know, and that kind of goes back to the imperfect action thing, and having faith, man, having faith in yourself. This is something that I struggled with for many, many years, and still to some degree battle with from time to time. Just not being sure of myself, you know, and not being sure of my experiences and the things that I've learned, but then when I look back, I'm like, man, I've come so fucking far. And that was another thing, measuring backwards, being like, man, I've just come so far, and I've dealt with so many things that, you know, probably should have broke me, or probably should have made me just broke my will, or made me just walk away and continue down that same path that I was going, you know. But I didn't. I somehow was able to tighten up enough to get through a lot of shit. So I have to have faith that whatever comes my way next in life, I'll have the proper tools and experiences to know how to meet those challenges and obstacles, you know what I mean? And measuring backwards, man, like just looking back and seeing how far you've come, and knowing that I'm not where I used to be. And like I was saying in the video on Instagram, you know, we get in these ruts and we just look at all the negativity, all of the negative shit that's going on, all the things that are going wrong in our lives. And it's easy to do that. It's very easy to do that. But not looking back and being like, fuck though. I've like, regardless of what's going on right now, I've overcome far harder things. I've made it through way worse situations, you know, and knowing that, like, I'm not the same person that I once was, man. I'm a far better, more equipped person, and that in itself is a blessing, regardless of anything else. That in itself is a blessing, and just being grateful for that, being grateful. That's it, man. So that's a quick little recap. Once again, you know, I appreciate everybody watching. Peace.